I asked the sister a question.
Yeah.
I said, do you know about the dog's lineage? Man, it's a nice dog, actually. Well, he's nice. That's a nice dog, right?
Yeah, nice.
So everybody know I got bullies. He's a pocket just like him. And I said, I know my dog's lineage from him all the way to the person that started that bloodline.
Yeah.
And I asked her, do you know?
That's cold.
And she said, I don't.
That's cold.
And I said, why in 2023 do we not know? So she said, how can you teach me who I am? You're gonna Google it? I said, nah, you gotta find out.
Hey,
so that's what she's here for.
But that's funny that you even say that, because it's like, yo, how you know who I am, but I don't know who I am?
Exactly. Like,
Right? But hey, I bet you we can guess. I bet you we can guess a couple things. Right?
But I don't know if y'all gonna be right.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Let's see. We might be right.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music, black music.
Let's see. We might be right. Did your ancestors, would you call your ancestors slaves at one point in time in this land?
Yeah.
Okay, so they were enslaved persons. So based off knowing that information, we can narrow it down a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So now that we know that they was enslaved persons at one point in time, it's a good chance that they came from the west coast of Africa. Do we have that map, by the way? I think I might have a map.
I don't have it.
I might have a map, but the slave ships, by and large, the slave ships picked up slaves off the coast of Western Africa, right?
Okay.
Do you know the people groups that was in Western Africa?
No.
Okay. Okay, so you got Benin and Togo, you got Ghana, you got Nigeria, you got what they call, if you go back and look at ancient maps, it's called the Kingdom of Judah. Now, why is it the Kingdom of Judah? Let's get Hebrews 1 and I believe it's 7. Let me show you something very important about the term Judah, because that's a very strange term to be in Africa, right? And we know we can trace people groups and things like that. Go ahead. Hebrews 7 and 14.
Yeah, Con.
Yeah, that's
this
my
is the
fault.
book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 14.
Now watch this.
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah.
Now, who's the Lord that they're talking about? Are you familiar with the Bible? A little bit. So who would the Lord be in the Bible?
The Lord,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There you go. All praises. So, okay, so she knows some stuff, right? So if the Lord is Christ and he came from Judah,
That means he was black.
Ah.
Jesus was black.
how easy is that?
Jesus was a black man.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
So look. Hey, let's get that in Maccabees now and show her where the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their images. Right, the Bible actually records. This is called the Apocrypha. These are some of the books they took out during the Protestant Reformation. But they took this out because of this verse here about the region. Right?
14 and 15.
First Maccabees 3 and 48.
First Maccabees or was it the South?
First Maccabees 3 and 48. Watch this right here. This is a reason why we don't know who we are, but everybody else do. If we stop a white person and ask them who they are, they gonna know.
Let's let this pass.
Yep.
See, old people walk around right around Greensboro all day, blasting their music, trying to pick up honeys.
Hey, that's right.
We gotta stop the camera so they can get their daggone groove on. Hey, let them have it, because I like that music.
Hey, yeah, wait. You know what I mean? Got the Lexus.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Con, this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48.
Come on.
And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Where's the white Jesus sign up here? We got it up here?
Nah.
Not up here. All right. Well, anyway, you know what white Jesus look like.
Yeah.
Why is Jesus white? If he was surrounded by lands of black people,
Why he white?
why was he white?
I don't know.
Because they laid open your book and they sought to paint their images in
They,
your book.
as in the Caucasian people.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, and I skipped that part. But that's very important to understand, man. So if we walking around thinking that Christ is white, subliminally and subconsciously, we live in life loving the white and worshiping the white.
Right.
Worshiping his image. Are you familiar with the book of Revelation? What's going on?
No.
You got 5 minutes? I see you looking at us. You got 5 minutes?
I'm just curious.
All right, hey, come listen.
Come over.
We teaching, man. You know, ain't nothing going on. Y'all believe in the Bible too?
Not necessarily. Yeah.
All right. What's that say on your shirt right there?
Oh, it's just it's like,
Oh, okay. I just saw a book. I was like, what is that? All right.
oh, it's fiction.
Okay, it's all good. So I'm asking about the Bible because we're teaching her. I want to ask y'all a simple question. What is your nationality?
I'm American.
Yeah, you're American now, but I'm saying like, where does your lineage come from? Nationality meaning like your land of descent, the nation that your forefathers and your ancestors would have came from.
It's a lot of European stuff.
Yeah, but do you know it's a social experiment? Like, could you pinpoint one of those nations?
So Canada as well as France as well as England.
Okay, that's good. So he can pinpoint
And
3
Ireland.
separate nations. Now I'm gonna ask her the same question. What is the name of your nationality?
African American.
Okay, now when we go to Africa, there's many countries in Africa. Which one of those? Because he was able to pinpoint a couple of
Okay, I
different
got
lands.
3.
No. Just any of them that you know for a fact is in your family's lineage.
I don't know.
Right. So point number 1 for the camera. Point number 1 of the social experiment is that my hypothesis is that many so-called African Americans can't pinpoint what country they came from.
Right.
Due to the effects of slavery and colonization. Right? So that's point number 1.
That's right.
Number 2, all right? Can you point to any historical thing, or not historical, but cultural things that your forefathers would have done?
You asked the question.
Okay, so point number 2. Can you point to any cultural things that your family would have done in their native land? Like you said, Ireland was one of them, right? So one thing we know about Ireland is bagpipes and kilts. So if you wanted to reconnect with that part of your heritage, you could go buy a kilt, buy a bagpipe, walk up down the street playing. You know what I'm saying? You could do that. If I was that.
Are you asking?
No, I'm asking.
One of the things about
Yeah. What's one cultural marker?
the Troubles.
The who?
The Troubles.
Okay, the Troubles. What does that mean?
Troubles. The strife between Ireland and England.
Okay.
They were persecuted against.
Right. Yeah, because Ireland, a lot of people don't know that, but Ireland was persecuted by England, and there was a lot of tensions going on there as well. So me personally, that's not my expertise, but I wanted to point that out because you can go back and teach your children that and continue that line.
To this day, they are still oppressed by England.
That's crazy. Little that we don't know, you see what I'm saying? But check this out. I want to point that out because you are able to know that. What's going on, brother? You are able to know that about your family's history. Now, for us, we're at a slight disadvantage because we don't know any of that. We don't have any cultural markers from our past. We can't hand anything down, right? So what we have to do is we have to take the culture by and large of what we have now and hand that down. Now, if I ask you what's black culture right now, what would you say? Actually, no, don't do it. I want to ask them first. If I ask y'all what is black culture right now,
I don't know.
what's
I'm not
3
black.
things? Right. But if you was to look at black culture on TV, on a movie, what's 3 things you would name?
I think the culture is individual for families. I think it goes
Depends
down
on where you're from.
as far as like
It can be incredibly diverse.
No, that's true.
Depending on, I lived in Europe for many years, and
Uh-huh.
depending on where you're from, that defines your culture as a black person.
No, that's
I
true.
don't think that American black culture is
It's like
synonymous
the
with
example.
everything.
Right, okay. That's actually a very good answer. So, but the reason I'm asking you that is because if I was to ask a younger black male that was walking up and down the street, what is black culture? He would say, oh, hip hop.
Right. Ask her.
Yeah, let's ask you.
Little baby.
Right? Lil Baby, hip hop. You know what I'm
Lil
saying?
Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
You know, Nicki Minaj.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
she would name things. Notice. I want y'all. Note number 2. Right?
Right.
Note number 2
Right.
is
Bring it
that
out.
my hypothesis is that young black people believe that our culture is inseparable from hip hop.
That's real.
But European nations don't think of culture that same way because they've experienced culture on a different level.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Culture includes family structure.
Right.
It includes the clothes you wear.
Invented rock and roll and reggae.
Hey, look at that. That's right. A lot of so-called African Americans or black people and a lot of rock. I listen to rock and roll.
Just hip hop is completely stupid.
Facts. I agree with that. I'm gonna give you a point for that. Right? Yeah. So, but the reason we doing this is because it's very important for us to understand how other people see culture and how we see it. And now that we know that we see it a certain type of way, now we know where we're vulnerable. Imagine if your whole culture comes from music,
right?
But you don't own the record labels,
Right.
and you don't own the movie industry,
Right.
and you don't own this, and you don't own that, right? Look, we got Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry just became a billionaire and bought his studio in Atlanta. I'm talking about like within the last decade, right? Within the last 5-10 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But before that was unheard of. Tyler Perry having a black studio that he owned and people in Hollywood gotta come to him, right? That's unheard of. So by and large, the movies that come out, they called it blaxploitation in the 70s.
Yeah.
The blaxploitation, have you ever heard? Right. Black Dynamite, Foxy Brown, Dolomite, all of these movies that came out, they glorified pimp culture. I'm gonna show you, just give me a moment. Hold on, give me a moment, don't do that. But yeah, give me a second. So I'm showing you that because we don't control the image of what our culture looks like, which changes the psychology of our people. Right? The music that we listen to, by and large, influences how our children act. Our children will listen to Lil Wayne before they listen to us.
That's real.
Right? I was talking to my baby sister one time on my wife's side. I was talking to her, and we arguing back and forth about who the best rapper. She about to fight me, saying Lil Wayne the best rapper. I'm like, yo, this is not that. It ain't that deep.
It ain't never that serious.
We about to fight over Wayne, somebody we ain't never met before, right? So that's how serious our people are about that. Now, to your question, how does this connect to Israel? Jeremiah 17 and 4. We're gonna show you something. And matter of fact, you get Baruch chapter 2.
It's out of the Bible.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
We're gonna get it out of Jeremiah. Matter of fact, drop that. We're gonna get it out of the Tanakh. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 30. Yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 30.
Old Testament.
Yeah, that's right.
What's your opinion on the Dead Sea Scrolls?
We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. I'm actually happy you know that's the spirit. That is the
no
spirit.
smoking right here.
You understand?
I'm gonna smoke later.
We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it.
Deuteronomy 30 in.
Not by the children. Not by the children. Not by the children. They can go, because this ain't for him anyway.
Damn, that was gonna be good too. Lacan, go ahead.
That was gonna go right over there smoke by your kids, man.
Yeah. No, we're gonna get them. We're gonna chop them up. But anyway, so go ahead, read that. We're gonna show you how this connects to the Bible. Because what we're showing you is that we've lost our heritage and now we're in a system that forces us to stay lost.
Okay.
Right?
From the top.
Now go ahead.
From the top.
Yep, Deuteronomy chapter 30.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse.
Now, stop. Book of Deuteronomy is set up as a covenant. It tells the children of Israel, if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, blessings will come upon you. Blessed in the city, blessed in the field. You ever heard that gospel song? Mm-hmm. That's from Deuteronomy, right? So if you keep the commandments, you'll be blessed in the city, blessed in the field. But if you don't, you'll be cursed. Well, Moses is telling the people, in the last days, when all these things come upon you, keep reading.
Which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God has driven thee.
You gotta read that part slow. When you call them to mind among all the nations where the Lord your God drove you. Why did he drive us out of our land? Because we wasn't keeping the commandments.
Right.
So he kicked us out of our land. Now we slaves and servants in other people's lands. All throughout the earth. This is in Brazil. This is in all throughout South America, Mexico, Europe. That's right. They got ghettos in Europe. Who knew that? Mm-hmm. Right?
That's true.
Puerto Rico, Haiti,
everywhere.
Dominican Republic, everywhere our people went from, everywhere we went, and we left from Western Africa. Everywhere we went, now we in those curses everywhere. Cursed in the city, cursed in the field. We the tail and not the head. all of that. So Moses said, in the last days when all these things come upon you, and you remember yourself, and you come back and be like, hold up, I'm supposed to be serving the Lord, right? When that happens, keep reading.
And shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will return thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all nations whither the Lord thy God has scattered thee.
You see that? After we come back to our culture, our laws, statutes, and commandments, then the Lord, okay, let's stop there. Ancient cultures believed that their gods was responsible for everything.
Right.
Certain ancient cultures, they had a god for the sky, a god for the moon, a god for the trees, a god for the rain, god for the grass, and they would do the rain dance, right? And then the rain would come, and then they would praise the god of rain. We believe that there's one God for everything. But this is the problem. We forgot how to serve him. So now everything we do is cursed. We try to go to a barbecue with 5 of our cousins and we gotta get into a fight over a spades game. Right? We go to the mall, the brother bring it out all the time. We go to the mall, I see another brother with some nice shoes on. I'm like, oh snap. He think I'm trying to rob him. Yep. So now he like, hey, what you looking at? And then now I gotta square up with him. Right. We can't do nothing now because we left our culture. And our God is not with us no more. That's what the Bible is about.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin.